Okay, I got my own music playing in the background, so I don't have to worry about copyright. I was thinking to myself, I'm listening to my music. This is my own music, and I'm even playing it, and I think it's good. I do. I think it's quality music. And I was saying to myself, my writing. I used to reread my writing, of course, to check on my writing, and I used to think my writing was good. I never published a word, and I put these music videos online, and they're not doing anything either. Zero views. So I'm saying to myself, the reason for this is the secret police of the United States have committed themselves to making sure that I am not successful with anything I do. And that's the truth of the matter. That's why I'm not a success. Is this diabolical? Yes, it is. It's absolutely diabolical, and it's caused me immense suffering across my lifetime. Immense suffering and catastrophic consequences to the unsuccess that I've suffered. The consequences have been catastrophic. So, what do I think about these secret police? I like to go into their offices, grab them by the hair, drag them out to paddy wagons, and handcuff them, throw them in there, and get them in jail. If not in jail, get them thrown out of law enforcement forever. That's what I'd like to do. Good luck with that, right? I'm an old man. I'm getting older. I'm getting older, man. People die at my age, right? So I'm wondering, I saw Bishuasi seeming to refer to my scholarly book on Northrop Frye in the and then way that episodes proceed in a romance novel. Now, if she read that, she ought to know that the word romance, as used by Northrop Frye, does not mean romance as when she once used the term in one of her feature stories. And she said, "It's so romantic, by the way." No. The word romance, when referring to a genre in literature, and I don't mean romance novels for women, okay? I mean the word romance as a genre defined by Northrop Frye. That's how I know it. And it does not mean romance as in the way she, or should I should address you, Bishuas, in case you're watching, because if you're watching, there's no indication that you are. I got 0 views, and I'm like a madman talking to myself here. So I say to myself, look, if you're not able to see these videos, they're for you. They aren't for anybody else. So if you're not able to see them, wow, am I in a bad way, man. I hope it's not true, because like I've been saying to myself, if certain things about my reality are true, it's not worth being alive. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to kill myself. Killing myself is not something I ever wanted to do. I'll finish the race. I ran track when I was a freshman, and I was still in delayed maturation, so man, was it hard to keep up with those guys. Way matured ahead of me. But I never gave up, and I've got recordings like this one talking about how when I was in the track meets, my goal was not to come in last. So in those track meets, I came in next to last in all the meets. You hear the people finishing like an entire lap around the track, 440 yards, I guess it is. They're an entire lap ahead of me. And I hear the crowd cheering for the winners coming in. I got a whole another lap to run to finish the race. What am I thinking about? Not coming in last. And usually my mother was watching from up on a hill, apart from everybody. She used to sit with the crowd, if there was one, of athletes and students. She sat alone up on a hill and watched. I was aware she was watching, and I never thought of dropping out, not finishing. And this is the same thing in life. I'm going to finish up, but I got to say, man, if it's true that life is as bad as it seems, I wish I'd never been born, really. Well, anyway, let me go on and say, be sure to see, if you're able to see this video, you were saying, and then. Well, you know what Northrop Frye said about the relationship between literature and life? He said, life resembles literature when life is almost on the point of making sense. Okay? Now, the traditional idea about literature is that literature is an imitation of life, going all the way back to Aristotle. Okay? But there you go. Life, on the other hand, is nowhere near as nicely put together as literature is, right? Literature, right, got symbols that all tie together, and the story has some kind of expected way of developing and this and that, but life is not like that, right? So I see you saying, and then. Well, I'm thinking to myself, are you thinking that romance, the way you would use the term, not the way Northrop Frye would, has a kind of and then expected way of developing as well? And what I got to say to that is that it's something I said in one of these notes. I cannot play that game that you may know as an expected way that romance develops. I cannot play in that game at all. Like I said, the metaphor here is playing football. You know, when I was back in high school, I had this injury to my neck. So I shouldn't have even tried out for the football team when I got big enough to play. I shouldn't even try it out. I could not play with that injury, okay? So I've been so badly harmed, let's say, by experiences in life, I cannot play the game of romance as you may know it. I simply cannot even play that game, okay? So if you're expecting certain things to happen, let's say you're being courted by somebody like Warren Beatty. I am no Warren Beatty by light years, okay? But I'm not even a normal guy by light years because of the things that have happened to me. I cannot play in that game at all. Now, look at my wife. I didn't give her any kind of ring. I didn't even know that you were supposed to give a woman a ring when you got engaged. I didn't know that. Give her an engagement ring? No. In fact, when I didn't exactly ask her to marry her, I was telling her that we might get married, she and I, as if I was talking facts. I wasn't asking her. I said, now, one day I said, when I was out with her, I said, now, if we stay together for about a year, we can get married. That's what I said. So That night, she called me up on TTY and she said, on TTY, you know what a TTY is. If you got deaf parents, you grew up in a deaf household. I don't have to explain that. And she said, "Did you ask me to marry you today?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "Will you marry me?" I typed it on TTY. She said, "Yes." Now, did I get down on a knee and give her a ring? No, I wouldn't do that. By the time I met my wife, my life had been destroyed for a long time. Okay? It got destroyed when I was 28, and I met her when I was 40. I'd been 12 years in that catastrophe. So even before then, if all the things I'm saying are true, and they are, that I was the victim of horrendous child abuse, I was already unable to play the game of courtship as people might know it. And then this happens, and then no. No, not for me. No, I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying I cannot play that game just like I couldn't play football. My injuries prevented me from playing. Now, does that mean I'm not a good married man or good in a relationship? No, that does not mean that. I am good in a relationship. I've been married for 31 years and happily so, as far as that goes. That's my wife. She's been happy as well. But you came along, and then I'm in love, like John Lennon for the first time. He said it. He said it best. He was in love for the first time. I don't want it to end the way his did, and I don't think it will. But if it even gets started with you, and then I don't know what's next. I've done everything I can do to get to you, and you ought to know I can't find you. And what I read online is it's illegal to look for you. It's even illegal to look for you, and just because I've been so badly harmed in experiences like this. The 3 times I went to Japan, I didn't look for you at all. And I didn't know about that law. I'd already been so punished for trying to get into a relationship with somebody like you. I wouldn't have dared have done the things I did that got me imprisoned, tortured, and stigmatized for life. So I wouldn't have dared gone to that place where you work, and I'm not going to go there now. I've sent 3 letters there and have got no replies. I sent you a gift, a Valentine's gift. I got no reply to that. I thought it was a legitimate gift. Like I said, I can't play the way people play that game. I can't do it. That was a nice gift in my opinion. Am I going to send you a bouquet of flowers or something? No, I'm not. I'm not going to do that. So, well, to end this little attempt to explain myself, if you watch the movie Coal Miner's Daughter, and I am apparently the son of a coal miner. Okay, my grandfather, he was a coal miner, and I'm the son of a coal miner. Well, in that movie, the guy who marries Loretta Lynn, the daughter of a coal miner, he asks her to marry him. Asks her? Essentially tells her she's going to marry him, and they go to the courthouse to get married. And what does he say to the preacher there, or to the man who's marrying him, the justice of the peace? He says, "Okay, present the woman with the ring." And he says, "I ain't got no ring, Judge." And he didn't give her a ring until like 15 years into the marriage, the same way that I did with my wife. But I didn't see that movie until maybe 5 years ago, 10 years after I gave my wife a ring. So it had nothing to do with me. There's somebody like me who wasn't crazy. He was a coal miner himself. So anyway, um, I'm just trying to explain to you, not make excuses. I'm saying I cannot play that game the way you might know it. I saw online. I meant to be done with this by now, but I saw online like on Valentine's Day and so on in your country, a woman will give a man a box of chocolates or something, or the man gives a woman to indicate, that they like each other. Well, these are expected ways that people court each other in your country, but I don't know what they are, and it's not in disrespect to you that I'm not going to learn them. I'm saying that if I followed that pattern, and then I would end up in situations where things wouldn't work. That's the best I can do for now. So I'm looking forward to meeting you. That means you're going to have to either answer a letter I've sent you, call me on the phone, or send me a text message. Did I say send me a letter or just appear at my front door and knock? Uh, I cannot find you, and I've sent you some letters and got no answers. So I can't do any more, and if this is real, it's now up to you. I am not going to go to your country if I can't meet you. Why would I do that? I don't have that kind of money. Our son needs lots of help now, and we're supporting him in New York. We don't have the money to do this. I'm not crying the poor mouth. I'm stating facts. I'd love to run off and just see cherry blossoms in Japan, but I got to say, I've never even gone down to the tidal basin to see the cherry blossoms here. Why? You don't need to. There are cherry trees all over the DC area. You don't got to go down to the tidal basin to see them. They had them on the street where I grew up. Okay, so you can see cherry blossom trees all over DC. You don't got to go down there. And I've never gone. Bye for now.